Hey guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And today I'm going to talk about something a little bit more serious on this channel. And I do discussion videos on here, and I do discussion videos at times about booktube, but very rarely. And today I want to talk about something that really hit home personally with me. And I haven't really planned out what I'm going to say. I don't really have any idea how I'm going to respond to this, so I'm just going to free flow it, and which I usually do anyway, and we'll just see how it goes. When I started booktube 2 years ago this Friday, and it makes me a little emotional because since then so much has happened to me on YouTube as a whole, and I don't know how many of you know this, but I have 3 other channels. I have my booktube channel, which is always my heart and soul, my OG heart and soul of YouTube. It's where I started. It's where people were welcoming to me. It was my first experience really with YouTube. And then I have my drama channel, which is where I talk about YouTube drama. And I try to give a little bit of a motivational spin to it just based on life experience. And then I have a channel called Peterisms where I tell stories of my life and just little things I've learned as I have grown up and, mistakes I've made and things like that. And then I have a vlogging channel where I talk about my life. I just show my life on a daily basis. I have vlogged for an entire year and 5 months plus at this point, or 4 months plus at this point, every day. And it hasn't been easy, Over time, what's happened is you would think that I would meet more and more people, but really what has happened is it has made my experience in life a little lonelier because most of my friends in real life don't really understand the whole YouTube gig. They don't understand me like coming and posting videos and setting up the lights. Here they are, like all that kind of stuff. And they don't understand, like me saying, well, I have to do this and I have this idea and I want this idea and I'm so excited about it, right? And I don't really have a lot of people to talk to about that. My husband, he'll listen to it, but he doesn't even really understand it to some degree. And so it's kind of a lonely world. And I've learned over time that there aren't a lot of YouTubers that I can trust. Friendships come and friendships go online, and it's difficult. When I posted my very first booktube channel, I think it was my very first comment, and if it wasn't, it was one of like the first 3 or 4. Richard from Richard's Media Geek, who used to be Richard's Book Nook, that used to be Books and Bullshit or something like that, which was my favorite title of his channel, was the very first person that ever commented on one of my videos and said welcome and all this kind of stuff. And over time, he and I became friends and we started talking. But it's hard, when you're posting videos. You don't always check in with people on a daily basis, and, age has a lot to do with it. And I have a lot of free time, but other people don't have a lot of free time. And, the booktube community is interesting by itself because the ages of people on booktube range from people that are in high school to people that are senior citizens. And so our lives are very different. So you could be friends with somebody that's 75 and you could be 20 and in college, and, you're at 2 different places. So for you guys to talk or have an online friendship is, at times difficult because somebody's making dinner for kids, while the other person's studying for an exam in college. And I think that's what makes the booktube community so fantastic. And it's interesting because I've cultivated the same kind of audience over on my main channel. I have an audience range of all kinds of ages and experiences, and I love that. I love it, Today, I watched a video that was sent to me that Richard put out, and it was called something to the effect of, this is him talking about, I need to say this, and quitting YouTube. And it was like a 33-minute video, and he was in there, and I watched every second of it, and he talked in there about having depression. I will say this before I make this video. I have reached out to Richard, and we've talked a little bit today. I let him know that I was going to make this video, and he was completely fine with that. So I wouldn't have made this video if he didn't say that he was okay with it, because I know it's a personal issue. But I think that the issue goes above and beyond Richard's video into a lot of YouTubers, a lot of booktubers, a lot of your lives. And so, even if you're not on YouTube. But he talked in there a lot about mental health and depression and how he has suffered from it for a long time. Things that have contributed to that, like pets' losses, which I absolutely can't imagine. I lifted him up for my main video, so I'm not going to lift Pee-Pee up again. Oh, you want to be lifted up? He said, well, I guess I'll be in the video. But, Pee-Pee, we found out recently, has heart disease, and You know, every video I've ever made, from the very first one when he was sitting on the floor next to me, to every video that I make now, he's sitting always right next to me. He's my best friend, as are, you know, my other 2 dogs. And, although he's gonna jump down now, I guess, and go get some water. So when Richard was talking about losing pets in there, and you know, he excused it and said, I know it's not like humans, but, well, my animals are, and I can't imagine losing them. I can't imagine the devastation that you go through. But then you have to continue to get on video and make videos because you love to make videos. And you want people to continue to watch your videos. And let's just be for real. All of us make videos because we want people to watch them. Okay? So when people say, I don't care if anybody watches my videos, I think, personally, that's bullshit. We all make videos because we want people to watch our videos. We want people to hit the like button. We want people to hit the subscribe button. And we want people to leave a comment. We want people to interact with what we're doing and what we're saying. Whether they agree with it or not, you know, hit the dislike button. You know, that's okay too. But as long as you're interacting and you're watching, it's really hard when your channel grows really slow, you know, and you're gaining a subscriber a week or something, and you have a lot of people watching your videos, and then all of a sudden it's like it goes down, and you're like, well, what's going on? You know, I was looking at my videos on BookTube the other day, and it was like a year ago or 6 months ago, I was getting a certain amount of views, and now I'm getting a certain amount of views, and I thought, you know, not everybody's gonna watch you forever. And but I think it's hard, you know, when you judge success based on numbers. And on my main channel, I talked about this with Graveyard Girl, because Shane Dawson, if you don't know who these people are, that's okay, but Shane Dawson, go to Shane Dawson's channel. He went to Graveyard Girl, Bunny Meyer's house, who is this huge YouTuber, and he talked to her about her channel and why her channel is dying. And you know, it was interesting because at some point you do get caught up kind of in the numbers and the subscribers and the views, even if you don't want to, even if it's not about that. You know, a lot of people contact me and they'll say, you know, I don't understand why my channel's not growing or why people aren't watching my videos. And I really don't have any answer to that. You know, I don't know a lot of times. And I'll go watch people's videos, and the videos are good. Like, you know, like the content's 10 times better than mine. They edit, you know, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. But the reality is that a lot of it is just luck. A lot of it is people finding our channels and hearing about us from other people and shout outs and collabs, and that's all a part of the game. I'm watching this video, and he's talking in there about he doesn't know what his future is on BookTube or YouTube. And that he also wanted to possibly make a beauty channel, which, Richard, I'm telling you right now, go for it. You won't know till you try. And he in there also talked about how he had tried really hard for several years to be part of the BookTube community, and that a lot of people were just like, oh yeah, I know him, but we're not friends, or I don't agree with him, or whatever. And Richard has been very vocal on BookTube. I kind of stay out of that at times. I got myself into it at the very beginning, and I thought, I'm not doing this again. But he's been very opinionated about it. You know, now on my main channel, I'm extremely opinionated, and it's got me into a, you know, some debacles with other people that don't agree with me. But that's part of what I love about Richard, is that he is so unapologetically himself, that he reads what he wants to read, that he, you know, is goofy and funny. And the very first time I ever talked about him on my channel, it was about this part. At this intro, he did that song, you know, Cake by the Ocean. He was like dancing to it. I loved it, okay? I watched it and I was like, oh my God, like this dude, I would love to be best friends with him. Like we would have so much fun just driving around, you know? And, to see it from there all the way to today, where he's questioning whether he wants to do YouTube or BookTube anymore because he doesn't feel like he's getting his dreams accomplished. You know, there's part of me that wants to say, buck up and keep on going. It'll get there eventually. That's the coach part in me. The other part of me is like, I totally get you. You know, and I totally understand what you're going through, and I've been there. And depression is no bullshit. Depression is serious, you know, and I've worked with people for years and years and years that suffer from clinical depression. And the most heartbreaking part is he goes in there and he talks about how he doesn't have health insurance and he can't afford to go to a doctor and get medication and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know, you know, he doesn't want pity, so I'm not going to pity him. But what I will say is this. Step back and reevaluate your dreams if you're going through something similar. If you're not getting the outcome that you want, take some time off of doing what it was that you once loved that you don't love anymore. You know, at some point, anything that we do that we love, whether it's athletics or knitting or cooking or anything, is going to seem ritual if we do it the same way every single day. Take some time back and sit back. To the BookTube community, I would like to say this. Whenever I make a video and I say, BookTube has been so welcoming to me, I always get a couple comments on those videos, which shock me. And they will say, I'm glad the booktube community has been kind to you and welcoming. They have not been the same to me. And I don't know that person's experience, and I don't know their point of view, and I don't know what they've gone through and what they've put out there in the world. But we're talking about books. We're talking about stories. We're talking about characters. We're talking about stories that give us hope and help us escape. We're talking about stories that we assimilate with. We're talking about characters that we wish were real people in real life. We are not talking, okay, about politics and religion, which are two things that my parents always raised me to say, you don't talk about with friends and family because they will hurt relationships. We're talking about books. What has happened that some of us out there aren't friendly to everybody else in this community? I don't know who these people are because my experience has been that everybody has been friendly with me. I've only had one experience that wasn't the case, and after stepping back and evaluating it and looking at my part in that, I realized I was never going to participate in something like that again on booktube because I love booktube. I love being part of this community. I love being able to make a video every day. I just started a book club the other day, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that has almost 250 members on it on Goodreads. I never thought I would be able to accomplish that. I never thought I would have people to talk to about the books I like. I never thought I would be able to make a video about a book. I never thought I could find somebody to talk to, one person, let alone 50 people or 100 people or 1,000 people, to listen to me talk about a book. I really never thought that would exist. So for us to pass judgment or be unkind to somebody on booktube baffles my mind. It completely baffles my mind. Or in the Bookstagram community, or in the book blog community. My experience has been with other booktubers and other people that love books, that the reason that we love books is because we don't always feel great about ourselves. At least that's my experience. And books have been a way for me to escape. And books have been a way for me to get excited about something and, to read about characters that I love and to go into those stories and see parts of myself and see how they're resolved through other people's points of views. I'm thankful to the authors that write those books. I'm thankful to the booktubers and the bookstagrammers and the book bloggers that introduced me to those books. And I'm thankful for the people that have the conversation with me about books because I love reading. And I will always be a reader no matter what, no matter if my opinion is popular or unpopular. But at some time, I think that we need to step back and we need to reevaluate what booktube is really all about. And booktube is really about a bunch of people getting together talking about fucking books. It's just not that deep. And if we can't be welcoming of all people into that community, then what are we doing? What is the purpose of what we're doing? Because a lot of us out there don't feel so great about ourselves anyway. And being able to escape and talk about things that matter to us and be there for somebody that we have met online, because the reality is in 2018, some of these people that we meet online that we will never meet in real life are just as real to us as friends that we see on a regular basis. That's been my experience. I've met some great friends on the internet that I have yet to meet, and I've known them for years now, And I think that we need to be, as a booktube community, supportive of one another and loving of one another, and that we can step back and say, and this is the thing that I guess surprises me, is that I've always thought over here that we could have a conversation without it being negative or nasty, okay? In talking about a book or something that happens with a book, you can have your opinion, I can have my opinion, even when it's about trigger warning issues and all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, sometimes I think maybe as educated people who love to read, we don't treat others very nice sometimes. And I think out of all of the communities on YouTube, of which I'm part of many, I would love to see booktube set the example that we accept all. And when I see things like Diversathon and people talking about diversity and people talking about issues and trigger warnings and all that kind of stuff, I like to think of us over here in booktube, my magical community of which I feel privileged to be part of, that we are a little bit more compassionate, kind, and caring. And that for any of the members in that group, we love them and we have their backs. I love you guys. and I will see you tomorrow.